What's up, YouTube world? Welcome back to the channel. Dickie Does Audio here. Hey, I wanted to talk about some older speakers today. I don't see too many people talking about speakers from the past. Everybody's always talking about, the speaker that's coming out, or the speaker that just came out, or the receiver that just came out, whatever. Everybody's always talking about everything new, and that's great. I like to hear about the new stuff too. But I feel like there's a little, maybe a small niche for some of these older speakers. And I kind of like them because you can get some really, really nice speakers for a very small price. When it comes to, comparing today's speakers with some of the older speakers, just say that these speakers right here, when they first came out, back in maybe 1988, I think 87, 88. I'm not sure exactly what day it was, but or what year. But anyway, these might have been, $1,200, $1,500 maybe for a pair, and you can get them nowadays for $500 to $600 on eBay, and that is a steal. These are freaking some awesome speakers. They're the Miller & KREISEL S100Bs. They have two 5 1/4 inch drivers. They have three 1-inch soft dome tweeters, and the tweeters are stacked in a line like that, and that's a line array. And what that does is that makes for a really, really wide sound stage. And so basically what you're getting is from left to right, the panning and things like that. These speakers just, the sound stage, I don't know how to describe it. It's just huge. I don't want to say it sounds like one speaker's in the room, but they do almost disappear in the room. And that's me just setting them up and making sure I got them equal distance away from the wall on each side. And that's not me actually trying to blend them in with the subwoofer or anything. That's just the speakers themselves. And so, but anyway, the sound stage really, really wide with these, huge, and it's just, you could put these speakers probably, 15, 16 feet apart, and that would be phenomenal. Like you would still hear everything dead center. Imaging is, it's also, it's A plus, the imaging, I'm talking, guitar strings being plucked, the fingers on the fret, you can hear sliding up and down. And it's not like anything sounds like it's out of place. These speakers, they sound like they do everything well. The only thing that they don't do quite as well, I guess, is, and this isn't even a knock by any means, they don't have that much bass reproduction, which they're not supposed to. So for what they are, these speakers are phenomenal. Like, flat out, if you can get these, like I said, on eBay for $600, something like that, this is the way to go. I'm just telling, if you're watching this video and say you're trying to decide whether you want to go with a pair of, I don't know, some KEF 350s or something like that, or I think those run around $500 or $600. Or if you're looking at some of the clips, the R600s, and that's a different sound, I guess. But I'm just telling you right now, these speakers at the $600 price range, they are very, very, very tough to beat. I personally, I can't think of a speaker, but that's just from what I've heard. The clarity, imaging, everything, these speakers just reproduce music very, very well. Whenever I first bought these, I bought them from a pawn shop that was getting ready to shut down. And when I went to this pawn shop, I seen these speakers there several times, or whenever I went there several times, I seen the speakers there every time, but they were painted white. And so I didn't think twice about them. I just thought they were kind of junk. But they had another set of Miller & KREISEL speakers that I seen. They were the S5000s, and they had a set of KEF speakers that were also meant for movies. And that's what I was looking for. So I looked over these each time that I went there. I just kind of passed them up. and they wanted, I think, $450 or $500 for the set, all three of them. And so I bought the other two sets of speakers. And after doing a little bit of research, I found out what these were. And I was kind of kicking myself in the ass. And so I figured, you know what, let me go back and I hope they still have them because I was going to buy them no matter what. And so I get in there and there's a guy behind the counter who I had never seen. So I go up to him and I'm talking to him and we're just kind of shooting a shit about these speakers. So I ask him, you know, hey, what do you got on them? What's your price on those? And because the pawn shop was closing forever, you know, it was going out of business. He said, make me an offer. So $150. And he said, sold. I said, wrap them up. Let me get out of here. And so, yeah, I got three of them, you know, for $150. And that's not obviously going to happen to everybody, or, you know, most people aren't going to experience a deal like that. But I'm just telling you right now, $300 a piece, $600. Even if you have to find some that are beat up, you can make them look nice again. These were painted white, and I actually didn't even have to take the drivers out, and I was able to do a pretty good job. Also, the Miller and Kreisel, the manual on these speakers. One thing that I thought was a little weird whenever I was reading it is it says, do not be afraid to put your speakers on the floor. And I never did that. But whenever I was listening to them in here, there was a couple times that I would just lay on the floor while I was listening, and I would lay, you know, kind of right here in this area. And, you know, with one speaker here and one speaker here, I didn't lose any kind of sound stage. The imaging, everything was just still there. It seemed like no matter where I walked in the room, unless I got right up against the wall, everything was still there, you know, and that's what I mean. Like, these are just, in my opinion, so far, anything that I've talked about on my channel, these are the best that I've talked about. And, that's why I'm trying to tell anybody that's watching this that if you can find something like these, they make. I'm trying to think of the other ones, not the S150s, but they make like I think it's an S120. Also, what's actually freaking sweet about these speakers, I actually took that one off over there, but we'll look at this one. The back of these, they have the treble contour and the mid-range contour, and we'll go ahead and look at this one too. But so what I thought this was, I thought it was just for you or anybody, you know, if you're listening to something and you want to add a little boost to the high frequencies, then you just flip the switch. And if you want to add a little boost to the mid-range, you just flip the switch. But whenever I was reading the manual on these, I'm beginning to think that the mid-range contour and this was to actually get these satellite speakers in phase with the subwoofer. And, you know, back then, there wasn't a mini DSP that was available like it is nowadays for anybody or us consumers to just plug in and do our own, you know, phase and time alignment like we can nowadays with the mini DSP. So what they would ask you to do is to flip the polarity of the speakers, and if your bass sounds better that way, then you were in phase with your subwoofer. And I'm thinking, because it mentions something about the mid-range contour also, I'm thinking that that has something to do with it also. So these kind of, in a sense, they have their own built-in little DSP. And so I just thought that was pretty damn cool. I will have some more content coming up in the next few days. Hopefully I can get it out. So keep your eye out for that. So until next time, YouTubers, thanks.